Okay, welcome to this lesson on using the vanishing point and one-point perspective to create a 3D room. You're going to require 4 items for this lesson. You need a whiteboard, a felt eraser, a whiteboard marker, and a ruler. Once you have that set up, you're going to watch the steps, and as I tell you when to pause, you're going to pause the video and you're going to do what I showed you, and then you'll push play again and continue on to the next step. Our first step is to create our vanishing point. And I want you to take your ruler and draw a line across your board, corner to corner, as best you can. You'll notice your ruler does not quite fit, so I slide my ruler halfway over to get the X. In the middle of the X, I want you to draw your vanishing point. This point we are not going to erase during the whole lesson, so make sure you put that in. I'd like you to push pause right now and do that step. Our next step is to put the walls onto our room. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a box in the middle. There's a few mistakes you don't want to make, and I'll show you what they are. You don't want to do your box too small. That would make our room very long and narrow, and we don't want it. So make your box about halfway down, your X on each side. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line. Now I'm going to start making my box, and I'm going to try to keep my ruler straight, and I'm going to draw a line up. The mistake students often make is they draw their line up here. You can't do that. Your line has to touch the X on all spots. So I'm making sure I touch the X. I'm going to keep my ruler straight. I'm going to go across. I'm going to bring my ruler down, and I'm going to meet it up with the bottom line. There. Now I have my box. All of my points are touching my X. That's key. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to erase those lines, but keeping my vanishing point. There. Now what you have is you've got the back wall, the floor, the side walls, and the ceiling. So just as in Van Gogh's bedroom painting that we looked at, you now have the room set up. Pause the video, and I want you to do that step. Now we're ready to accessorize our room, and the first thing we have to do is we're going to add a door. Now this is going to be the key point, and I'm going to say this over and over again. You have to always line up everything on your walls with the vanishing point. So my ruler is touching the vanishing point. I want my top of my door near the ceiling. I draw a line, and I'm in line with the vanishing point. Now what I can do is I take my ruler and draw my line straight down to the bottom of my whiteboard, and my ruler straight down, line straight down. Now I have a door. I can tell it's in perspective because this side of the door is bigger, and it gets smaller as it goes to the back of the room. That's what we want. I want you to pause the video and make a door. Next thing on our wall is we're going to accessorize with a window. We're going to use this wall over here. And you can see that I'm lining up the top of my window with the vanishing point. And I'm going to draw a line. I also need to line up the bottom of my window with the vanishing point. Right about there looks good. Thinking about trying to get the same length. Now, keeping my ruler straight, I'm going to finish off my window by drawing a line down and drawing a line down. And if I was too long, I can just touch up. Now my window is in perspective. This is bigger, and it gets smaller as I go towards the back of the room. Now I always like to accessorize my window with a curtain. So I'm going to line up my vanishing point and I'm going to make a curtain rod. So I'm going to go longer than my window and I'm going to make a rod here and a rod here. Good. The bottom of my curtains also have to be in line with my vanishing point. I like to have a little wiggly line at the bottom, so I make it a little bit wiggly, but I have to be in line with the vanishing point. Then I draw a straight line down, and I go over to this side and I do the same thing. Now I just have to touch up. Of course, we can't see the windows through the curtains, so I need to take out that. I need to take out that. Now I can accessorize my curtains with some design. So now my curtains are in perspective and I'm ready to go on to the next step. So pause the video. Okay, next, we're going to accessorize the floor, and there's 3 types of flooring we're going to make. We're going to do a carpet, a wood flooring just like in Van Gogh's painting, and a tile floor. Everything must be in line with our vanishing point. So we're going to do a carpet, and I'm going to draw a line here, a line here, and both of those lines are in line with my vanishing point. Now I'm going to draw a straight line across my whiteboard and a straight line across, and I've got the basic shape for my carpet. I love to accessorize my carpet by adding a little bit of fringe on the end, and maybe I'll do some designs to match my curtains. So now I've got a carpet, a door, and a window all in line with the vanishing point. I don't want the carpet anymore. I'm going to show you the next flooring, which is a wood flooring. To do the wood flooring, I must be in line with the vanishing point. So I line up and I draw a line. I rotate it and I still touch in the vanishing point and I draw a line. And I rotate it and I draw a line. Sometimes students make a mistake, and it's a simple mistake. Sometimes they forget and they draw a line from the back wall all the way down. We don't want the wood to go on the back wall, so that's no big deal. I just take my eraser or my finger and I take that off. I'm touching the vanishing point and I draw a line, all the way across my floor. Now I've got the lines on the floor. I want to make a wood floor. So I need some slats along here. So I'm going to draw some straight lines. I use my ruler and I keep my ruler straight on my board. Sometimes you make a mistake when you don't have your ruler straight and you draw the lines and they go a little bit crooked. I wouldn't hire you if you were doing wood flooring for me. We don't want crooked lines. So now, once I have my flooring on, I'm going to put a few nail holes. And once I have the nail holes, my wood flooring is done. I'd like you to pause the video right now and I would like you to do the wood flooring. Now that you have your wood flooring done, I don't want you to erase the long lines that you've done here. I would like you just to go and erase those little lines that you put in across. Because we're going to do our third type of flooring, which is tile flooring. And I'm going to draw my line straight across. My ruler is straight on my whiteboard. That's key. And I'm going to draw my line straight across. Now I have tile flooring, and what I like with tile flooring is that I color the alternative, each other one, skipping a space. And I like to give my tile flooring some patterns. So I'm going to do this. I'd like you to do this on your whiteboard. I'd like you to make a tile floor, and I'd like you to do a checker pattern. So pause the video. Great. Now you've learned 3 kinds of flooring, the door and the window. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move to the back wall, and we're going to accessorize the back wall. The back wall is the only wall that's different than the other spaces. Because it is flat, you do not need to line it up with the vanishing point. We can just draw items on it. I would like you to draw certain things. I'm going to show you something with an open door. So I would like your back wall to have an open door. So please draw a door like this with no doorknob. Pause the video and do that. Great, you've got your door. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some steps. Our house is going to have another floor. So our steps are going to go up and away. Start with one rectangle, and then we're going to make another rectangle on top of it that's going to be a little bit smaller. And then another one, smaller. Each one is eventually, our stairs is going to go up and away. Now I've got my stairs, I'm going to put a railing at the bottom of my stairs. I'm going to put a railing going up. So now I have stairs at the back of my room going up and away. Pause the video and I want you to do some stairs in your open door. Now, the next thing I want you to do is, on your back wall, we're going to accessorize. Let's do a painting. I'm going to do a Van Gogh painting. And I'm not lining it up with a vanishing point, but I'm keeping my vanishing point. I'm going to do Van Gogh's sunflowers. Lovely. And my vanishing point is going to be one of the sunflowers. There. There's my painting. Oh, lovely. Now I'm going to add, I love to accessorize with some plants. So I'm going to add a plant there, and I think I'm going to add a clock here. There, it's 3 o'clock. Time to go home. Great. I would like you to pause the video and I want you to accessorize your back wall. Remember, keep your vanishing point, but you don't need to line up your vanishing point. Pause the video. We're back and we're going to work on the ceiling now. And the ceiling has some special rules. If we are doing long lights like in the classroom, look up at the classroom lights, you need to use the vanishing point. If you're doing pot lights, which are circular lights, you need to line them up with the vanishing point so that they are in line and going away at the proper. But if I don't want to have pot lights and I don't want to have lights like the classroom, I can just draw maybe a chandelier, or I can design my own light. And it can just be in the middle of my ceiling. Lovely, isn't that nice? So there's my light or my lamp hanging down from my ceiling. I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to accessorize your ceiling with lights. Now we're back and And we're going to add one last thing to our video. I'm lining up with my vanishing point. We live in Singapore, so I think it's important that in Singapore we put an aircon unit on our wall. And of course, I've lined it up with my vanishing point. I'm going to do a light switch too, and of course anything on my side wall I am lining it up with my vanishing point. There we go. There's my light switches. My aircon is done. Good. I've got my lights. I've accessorized the back wall. You've learned how to do 3 different flooring. I'm going to add something out my window to make it more interesting. Maybe some trees and bird and a little path going along. Excellent. There. Now you've learned the basic steps. I'd like you to take a picture using your iPad grade 4, and then I would like you to try it again. Maybe change it up. Design your own room.